Yeah, Shalom Israel, Shalom. Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Right? Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone who taught me this truth in its entirety, according to the Bible. Peace and salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth all over the earth. Right? So yeah, and a quick video. I just got an alert not too long ago. More upwards of people, Israel, more upwards of people, man. Right? Basically, is Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona El Prat Airport has seen some brutal fighting as police in riot gear face off with huge crowds of Catalans, right? And it's the same. All these upwards is police and people, military and people, right? Basically, the Spanish Supreme Court decision on Monday to sentence the Catalan officials behind the referendum to between 9 and 13 years has sparked a storm of protests in the capital of the wealthy autonomous Spanish province. So the people are ticked off because some of their activists from a referendum a few years ago got between 9 and 13 years, right? But this seems to be the template, right? People against the police, right? Well, let's peep the clip, and then we'll get some scriptures. Yeah, man. But yeah, that seems to be the template, man. Police against the people, man. Those police, they're not sparing the rod, to say the least, right? But that's a spirit. That's the spirit that the Most High has put on this planet, man. You know what I mean? That's the spirit that He's put on this planet, right? Let's get a precept. Isaiah 19 verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, right? So the spiritual Egypt, which is America, man. Spiritual Babylon, which is America. You know what I mean? But that's the spirit that the Most High has put on the whole world. It's happening across the board, right? It's happening in Haiti. It's happening in Ecuador right now. It's been going on in Hong Kong for a minute. This one popped off today. This one in Spain, right? Isaiah 19 verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Right. So we're seeing that that's the spirit that the Most High has put on the world, man. You know what I mean? People against people, right? In the last days, man. Right? Let's get another precept. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 63. Behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders. Right? So this is Ezra's talking to the Most High. Right? Thou hast showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not showed me. So basically Ezra is asking Yahweh, right? These visions that I've been getting, that you've been showing me, right, about the wonders and things that are going to happen in the last times. You're not at what time shall it happen? You haven't showed me that yet, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Right. So us in this truth, right? We're measuring the times. We're observing. We're watching prophecies in the times. Right? We're observing what's happening in the world and pairing it up with the prophecy in the scriptures, right? And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I've told thee before, so when you see some of these signs starting to pass, which you've learned about in the scriptures from the prophets and the servants in the times before, written in the scriptures. As a matter of fact, let's get that. Everything written is aforetime for our learning, right? In Romans. What was written aforetime was written for our learning. Book of Romans. Yeah, Romans 15 verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. Right? So yeah. So when we see things popping off, right? Like what he told Ezra here, right? When you see part of the signs pass, which I've told you before, right? We know that these things are all scripturally based, right? So these things written in the books were written for our learning, man. You know what I mean? Right? So yeah, let's get back to Ezra's here. Verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time, right? So we'll understand that it's the same time, wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So when we see these signs of the past, which we read about, or we've learned about through the prophets, right? We now understand that right now what we're seeing happen, like what we're seeing with all these things popping off, is when the highest, the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, will begin to visit the world which he made, right? Verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world, which you see happening now, earthquakes, upwards of people, all kinds of calamities, right? Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So the Most High spoke of these things, man, from the times before me and you, from the times before Esdras, who this book we're reading from. Right, go back to the times of Noah, man. Right before the times of Noah, man. It says Noah found grace. Let's get that real quick. Noah found grace, and Yahweh told him to build an ark. Genesis chapter 6, verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai. Right? He found grace. So the Most High said he was going to wash it, man. There was great wickedness in the earth, and he's going to wash it, right? And the Most High found grace, right? So going right back to the times of Noah, man. You know what I mean? Aforetime, to the times of Noah, right down, man, through his prophets. The Most High is always giving signs through his prophets as to what's going to happen, right? Let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24, right? Matthew 24, verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving into marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, right? So we're watching, we're measuring the time diligently, us in this truth, right? Most High willing, we are of the elect, right? But we're watching and we're watching diligently and blowing the trumpet, warning, hey, listen, man, you know what I mean? These things you see happening right now, right? These are the prerequisites. This is what's gonna happen. This is what's happening now before the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, before Yahushai comes back to establish his kingdom of righteousness, right? So we're blowing the trumpet warning, right? But you know, as it goes, two-thirds gotta go, man, because you know, for as in the days of Noah that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, 2/3 is doing that. Marrying and giving in marriage, 2/3 is doing that. Until that day that Noah entered into the ark, right? And yeah, that's what it is basically. You know what I mean? But a major reason, you know, you gotta watch us in this truth, right? We're watching, right? You gotta watch, because if you don't watch, man, it come on you like a thief in the night, right? Matthew 24, verse 42. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up, right? So if you know a thief's coming, if you stand and watch, and no thief's breaking in, because you're gonna see it, right? So that's why we watch, right? That's why we're occupied in these prophecies, right? Because you gotta watch. Yahweh, and this is red letter right here in Matthew 24 that I'm reading from. Red letter. So Yahweh Shai is telling you, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. Right? Verse 44. Therefore be ye also ready. Right? Be ready. That's why we're watching and measuring diligently. Right? Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. Khan. Right? That's why we're watching. Right? That's why we're watching. I pray you're edified. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors once again to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth in its entirety, according to the Bible. Peace and salutation to the Hakim out there pushing this truth all over the earth. Kwam Yasharala, Abad Babal.